Let's now trace the heightened number of violations in the country. And joining us is the Executive Secretary of the Human Rights Commission, National Human Rights Commission, that is, Mr. Tony Ojukwu. He joins us from our Abuja studios. Welcome to the program. First, give us your reaction to the uproar we're seeing over social media as to the rise in sexual-based violence, rape, abuse of minor students who would have been in school if not for the COVID-19 pandemic. How is the Commission monitoring these horrors?
Thank you very much, Millicent, for having me here. I think I want to join the rest of Nigerians in condemning the alarming rate of sexual and gender-based violence, especially rape, that seems to be ravaging our country at this time. It's horrible, and everybody is worried that we cannot go on like this. We need to have a national plan of action, a national emergency on sexual and gender-based violence, especially rape. The matter in Benin, where the University of Benin student was raped, the Commission is working with stakeholders to make sure that the case goes on. One of the suspects has been arrested in Benin, and the governor himself has directed that action must be taken. Of course, you know that the Inspector General of Police has also directed that immediate action should be taken in that matter. In the case in Jigawa, of course, the Commission is also working with the police. 11 of the suspects who raped the young girl have been arrested. One person is still out there. And every step is also being taken to make sure that there's justice there. And of course, we've also heard of the sad case that came up in Ibadan yesterday or 2 days ago, where a girl was discovered in her parents' home in a pool of blood. We've in touch with the police PPRO in Ibadan, and right now they are not yet sure what actually happened, whether it was armed robbery or whether it was a rape case, but the police is on that, and we're insisting they need to unravel the circumstances surrounding the date. Of course, you also know of another case in Ekiti, where a 17-year-old girl was also gang raped by some street urchins, about 3 of them. 2 of the culprits have already been arrested. They are going after the other one. I think as a people, we must make sure that anybody involved in this kind of heinous crime is held accountable. We must, as a people, agree that this is not the way to go. The COVID-19 has thrown up a lot of issues, and one of them has been this increase in sexual and gender-based violence, especially rape. We don't understand whether it is because the young people are idle at home, back from school, they are not engaged, there is restriction, freedom of movement for people to go about doing other things that is leading to this increase. We are still studying the situation, but you'll agree with me that the rate of sexual and gender-based violence during this period has really disturbed everybody. And we must rise in unison to condemn this and take action to make sure that this is not the way to go for our country.
Briefly, Mr. Ojukwu, just because we have just a few minutes to wrap up on the program, and this is with regards to Almajiri. What's the position of the Commission with regards to the freedom of movement so far in the northern region?
Well, of course, the statement that the Almajiri children should go back to their state of origin, of course, violates the freedom of movement of those children. But looking at the freedom of movement in relation to the best interest of the child, children are supposed to grow up within the protection of their parents, their guardians, and the state government. They need to be given opportunity of survival, education, and development. And we think that if they grow up in their states, in the comfort and protection of their parents, it's good for them. So we think going forward that every state should draw up a program of action for the reintegration and rehabilitation of these Almajiri children. And the Commission is happy to work with all the states to make sure that human rights is mainstreamed into the reintegration and rehabilitation of these children, so that they're taken to school, so that those of them that need to be empowered are empowered, so that their families are also empowered to make sure that what predisposes them to becoming Amajaris is dealt with right from the roots. So all the northern states, we think, should also pass the Child Rights Act, because that is one act that is so much important to make sure that the best interest of the child is put forward in everything concerning the child.
We'd like to thank you, Mr. Tony Ojukwu, Executive Secretary of the NHRC. Thank you for joining us on the program.